So now we're working with the Taliban, the people that we spent how many years fighting against. Now we're just working with them. Now, I understand that's to get people out, but seriously, when does the United States, the greatest country in the world, okay, the land of opportunity, land of freedom, when do we work with terrorists? Since when? Because I'm sorry, I'm 44 years old. Never once has this fucking country worked with terrorists. It just doesn't happen. I'm getting pissed off now. So anyway. Talk a little bit about, well, let's start with New York City, because this pisses me off. I'm in New York. I'm not in New York City, thank God. So New York City, if you've ever been there, it consists of a ton, thousands, maybe tens of thousands of small mom and pop businesses, mom and pop restaurants, the pizza place, the Italian restaurant, the little sushi joint. They're all mom and pop shops, right? Who is the mom and pop business, the middle American business, right? That's what it should be. You know, it's the people you live next to. It's the people you went to school with. It's the people that are in your community that are busting their ass every single week to go out there and make a living for their family and provide whatever, good food or whatever it is. But now in New York City, you can't go into mom and pop's restaurant without a visa or a passport thing showing that you're vaccinated. And it's not about the vaccination. Don't you dare go down the vaccination thing with me. I'm not getting into that. It's not about the fact that like you vaccinated versus unvaccinated, like our government wants to create. It's more about why is it that you can walk into Walmart, Target, Wegmans, any big food store, all the big box stores. Do you need to when you walk into Walmart, do you have to pull out your vaccination passport and say, oh, I'm vaccinated to go in and buy your freaking crap that you need? Hell no, you don't. But if you go in the Italian restaurant that your neighbor is struggling with, you can't be there unless you're vaccinated. Where is that fair? How is that fair? To me, you know what I see? And I want all of you to comment, good, bad, or indifferent. I'm willing to argue about this because I am absolutely pissed off. And if this goes beyond New York City and dickhead in California decides to pick this one up, listen, if this goes it's never going to go in Florida or Texas. But if this starts happening, like, what's going to happen to middle America? What's going to happen to your friends, your family, your coworkers, your small business owners that now all of a sudden can't even operate because why? Well, because they're a small business. They're not Target. Okay. They're not Walmart. They're not a big box store because those rules don't apply to those big box stores. Why? If you're going to make it that way for mom and pop's restaurant, why isn't it that way to walk into your big box store? Why isn't it that way to walk into the pharmacy? True statement. The pharmacy, they sell retail stuff. Hell, they even sell food. So do you need a vaccine passport to walk into freaking Rite Aid or Walgreens? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Where's the fairness in this? Steven, what's your comment on this? We got a lot of stuff coming in.
It's fucking bullshit and discrimination, period. I mean, there's nothing around it. It should be, we have freedom. So if an individual business wants to implement a vaccine mandate to enter your business, I have no problem with that. I don't think the government should regulate for it or against it. This is America, period. Full stop. That's all.
And talking about Florida and Texas and some other states, they've taken a stand, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, they've taken a stand. And you know what? Good for them, because it's absolutely working for their economy in those states. New York City's failing, folks. I live in New York. New York as a state is literally on a downward spiral. People can't get out of this shit state fast enough. Same thing for California. It's a mass exodus for the first time ever out of California. It's the reason real estate in Salt Lake City and Arizona and Texas and Florida is skyrocketing, because there's not enough inventory to take all these people that don't want to live in their shitty, discriminating states. Because somebody made that comment. It's 100% discrimination. So I thought somebody was going to be upset about this. I really did. I thought somebody was going to want to argue about this, but I'm not seeing anybody wanting to argue. I think a lot of people are just agreeing on all channels here. So does anyone have a different take than we do on this, because literally, like, listen, no one has to have the same viewpoint, the same opinions. We all can be free thinking. We all can believe one thing or another. We can believe in one God or another. We can have, whatever belief system you want. But when you take your belief system and you force it upon other people, you make them conform. When you make other people, when you alienate other people, or discriminate, if you will, against other people because they don't think like you, they don't have the same belief system as you, they don't have the same viewpoint as you, that's wrong. Everybody's entitled to their own viewpoint, their own way of life, their own way of living. We don't have to agree with it. We don't have to say anything about it. We can just go about our merry lives and go about our lives with love and also with the compassion of giving. If somebody doesn't believe in, Jesus, or someone, is Muslim versus, Christian, do we have to believe in the same religion as they? No. But can we still be friends with them? Can we still help them? Can we help them solve problems? Can we do business with them? 100%. I was talking about Mormons, okay? I've had a lot of experience with Mormons just because I spent a lot of time with snowboarding in Salt Lake City. And everybody's like, oh, Salt Lake, that's all Mormons. Not anymore. Maybe back in the day when I was first going, there was a lot of Mormons. But have any of you ever had a Mormon try to talk to you about the religion and actually let them talk to you about it? Right? So have you? Most people won't. They're like, no, I'm not. I don't want to even hear about that. Why? Do you even know what it is? Like, I'm not Mormon, but I've listened to them. I've let them come into my business and literally talk to me about what their belief system is. It's awesome. Like, some of the things that they believe in, no, I don't believe in it. It's not my religion. But you know what? Good for them. They have a belief system, and it makes them a better person because they have a set of rules and something to follow. It might not be your rules, might not be your religion, might not be what you believe in, but you know what? They at least believe in something, and that something makes them a better person, makes them go out and love more. Like, why do some people alienate different people because of religious beliefs, because of the color of their skin, because of, what they think about this or that? And now it's vaccinated versus unvaccinated. Oh God, let's hate the unvaccinated, or let's hate the vaccinated. Like, bullshit. Like, that is the biggest form of discrimination, and this country is falling apart because of it. And pretty soon, if we're not careful, we are going to be in the next civil war. Anyone want that on their backyard? No. Study the Civil War. I promise you don't want a civil war. But now let's go over to Pakistan and what's going on over there. Now, let's not get political here, folks. And I'm going to share some comments here. Okay, let's not get political on this one at all. But what's going on over there and what just happened? Like, listen, like, whether you think we should have kept troops there or exit troops, like, I think I'm happy our troops finally get to come home. But the way they did it and what happened after, that's like, that shouldn't happen that way. That's my opinion. I know nothing about all of the crap that's going on, but like, how? And then there's comments out there about like all those years were just a waste. Listen, like, if somebody ever said that to me, and I'm not ex-military, but I got a lot of friends. If someone walked up to me, Stephen, and said all those years over there in the Middle East fighting, it was all for nothing, I would punch them dead square straight in the fucking nose. And I would probably hit them multiple times, and I'd probably go to jail for it. I'd be happy. And when I got to jail and the people in the cell asked me, what'd you do? I'm like, I punched this bastard in the nose because he didn't respect our soldiers. We've lost thousands of people over there. 20 or 30,000, and I don't have the number exact, are now permanently injured for the rest of their life. And that's for nothing. That's for nothing. Like, I'm sorry. Like, whether it's for nothing or for something, people sacrificed way too much to ever say that was for nothing. And that's my standpoint. Stephen, anything you got to say on that?
No, it's a mess, man. I mean, we'll see what comes of it. I think there's going to be a lot of changes throughout the entire global. Yeah, I'm not going to get into it right now, but it's. I think you're absolutely right. I mean, and God bless all the troops that have served in Afghanistan over the last 20 years, and that have lost friends, have left limbs over there, and I think most of the vets, aren't happy with the way that it all ended, and things could have been handled definitely differently. And it's kind of a shame to see just the collapse in less than a week. And I mean, just the images of seeing the helicopter, airlifting people, the diplomats off of the embassy in Saigon back in the 70s, and the exact same image just a couple of days ago of lifting them off the embassy in Kabul. It's unbelievable to see that. It's like, it gives me goosebumps thinking about it. And then seeing the big airliners going down the runway at Kabul airport, taking off, and the Afghans just jumping on, going in the wheel wells because they know that their life, they're going to be tortured and just what's going to happen to their families if they stay there. So they're willing to risk going in a wheel well and see the airplane take off and the people fall off the wings. It's just tragic. I mean, it's just heartbreaking stuff. And that's, that's war. That's the Middle East. And it's, there's definitely arguments. Should we stay there? Should we not? But I think everybody can agree it might have been handled a little bit differently, and things could have been, we left billions of dollars worth of military hardware and equipment there that the Taliban now, has complete control over. And the Taliban is one of the greatest terrorist organizations, in modern times, and they just took over an entire country and now control it all. So it's crazy to see, and we'll see what happens. Let's just pray America stays safe.
Yeah, let's pray America stays safe. Let's pray America stays out of a war, but that's probably where we're headed. And listen, folks, you should all read a book. So here's a tip for the day. Read the book called The Fourth Turning. It was written in 1997. It will scare you, okay? And you got to get to the end of the book. Don't just read a little bit and you're like, this is kind of boring. Get to the end, or just start with the last chapter of that book, The Fourth Turning. The book, I want to repeat, the book was written in 1997. I'm not going to tell you what that talks about, but we got to be really careful what we do right now, because I'm telling you, our government is showing absolute signs of weakness. I just saw on the news, and I never watched the news, but I was watching the news, and I never watch one channel because I think they're all horseshit. I think they all freaking lie. I think they all lie just to get ratings. So I was watching Fox News, CNBC, and CNN. I watched them all. We jump around these different channels because I want to get different viewpoints. And all of them basically made a comment, or there was a story about how our government is now working with the Taliban to get all of these people out. So now we're working with the Taliban, the people that we spent how many years fighting against. Now we're just working with them. Now, I understand that's to get people out, but seriously, when does the United States, the greatest country in the world, okay, the land of opportunity, land of freedom, when do we work with terrorists? Since when? Because I'm sorry, I'm 44 years old. Never once has this fucking country worked with terrorists. It just doesn't happen. I'm getting pissed off now. So anyway, let's go on to the next topic, Stephen. We went deep into that. Pfizer. Now we're going to, everything in the news is, it's Afghanistan and the Taliban. Did I say that right? Taliban? Yeah, Taliban. Yeah. I said it wrong the first time. There's so much stuff, but COVID is a big thing. Delta variant, a lot of people getting sick again, and definitely seeing it. No question about it. There's a lot more cases out there. So no one can really argue that and say that, the news is blowing it up. Maybe they are, but just here, like in New York, I know a lot more people that have it now. Okay. I know a lot more people. And a lot of those people, just so everybody knows, are vaccinated. So we can get off that high horse. Pfizer just submitted the necessary data to the regulators to clear a COVID booster shot. So are the regulators the FDA? Because I think a lot of people are on the fence with the shot until the FDA approves it. But do we even trust the FDA anymore? Like CDC, do we trust them? Do we trust the government? Like, there is such a lack of trust out there in just about everything. There's a lack of trust in the government. There's a lack of trust in the media. There's a lack of trust in the medical, sectors. Like, there's definitely a big lack of trust. So you got to find somebody that you do trust. You got to find the truth and the knowledge you need to really go out there and make sound, logical, educated decisions for yourself and for your family and for your money, most importantly. Pfizer very well might be a great investment. I mean, I know that, even though Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and, many of the others, Mark Zuckerberg, some of the big billionaires are dumping a lot of their stock. And just look it up, folks. If you think the big money's buying right now, you're again, that's just another lie, because your advisor said, everybody's plowing money in. The big money's putting money in the markets. No, they're not taking money out, but they are moving money into pharmaceutical companies for obvious reasons. So how many of you invest in pharmaceuticals? Anyone? So let's just hear how many people. Let's see. So we got one that came in, owns Wuhan Lab, which is also owned by Pfizer. Yeah, wakey. So somebody on TikTok was just talking about GlaxoSmithKline owns Wuhan Laboratory, which also owns Pfizer. Can we get a fact check on that? Is that a fact? Because if it is, well, hey, that's way too close to home right there.
I don't think so. I think
I don't either. And
that's
that's the problem. There's so much misinformation out there that, like, if you just watch the news, you're probably getting I don't even know what's right or wrong. You go on social media, like, is that real news? Like, for the longest time, I didn't, those photos of that plane taking off and those people falling off. I'm like, is that real? Did people like just kind of edit that in? I mean, yes, it was real, which was.
No, that's real. Look at the messaging. I mean, the vaccines come out, right? And then all of a sudden in April, the J&J goes on pause because of clotting issues. And you can see the trend. Vaccines were going like this. That pause happened. Vaccines fell like a rock. People just stopped believing in it. And it's never really recovered. And then they came out telling us vaccines stopped us from getting, COVID. So go out there so you don't catch COVID because you don't want the long-term effects of COVID. And then all of a sudden there started to be a couple breakthrough. And now most of the people I know getting COVID right now are vaccinated. So that wasn't true what they had told us. And then they said, you need your 2 shots. This might last forever. We don't know how long. And now they're saying after 8 months, you need a 3rd shot. So the messaging kind of got distorted again. And I get it's something new that we know nothing about and we're kind of experimenting as we go. But isn't that the whole hesitation for the people that haven't got it? So it's just the messaging has been crazy. We were told one thing, it changes a week later. I get that's how science works, but why not maybe just give it an extra week and find out where we are and then and be straight with people like, hey, we don't know. Like, you might have to take extra boosters and this and that. And the message has been so crazy and it's just driving to, like you said, distrust in everything. And then why are there vaccine mandates to enter buildings when you can catch COVID just as easily with the vaccine or without it? So why do you need to have a mandate for vaccines if it doesn't stop the spread? It doesn't stop you from getting it. Just none of it really makes any common sense. And that's my thing is like, you just kind of use common sense. Like, look at the overall picture, what's going on. So it's just all very interesting and it all ties together with the pharmaceutical companies. And I mean, it really does.
So with that being said, folks.
All right, if you like that video, make sure you check out this video right now. And also don't forget, subscribe to my channel and don't ever forget to smash that alert button. We'll see you on the next one.